So you just went on a mission trip?
You betcha, yeah. I was in
Nice.
Guatemala for 5 days.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You tired?
Yeah, we had quite a long day coming home. It was pretty much 24 hours to get home, but I'm
Yeah.
awake now.
Wow.
I'm glad we didn't do it yesterday like we planned.
hmm
Yeah, really.
So the format of the show is we do highs and lows of your week. So
Well, I mean, I was in Guatemala all week. I mean, it's pretty hard to have lows when you're on a mission trip, I'll be honest.
yeah.
But I'll just talk about the mission trip real quick, just in
Yeah.
general, just so you can get a better idea of what's going on. I was with a group of people from Crew, which is just a campus ministry, and our goal is just to help people take their next step in faith. And we traveled to Guatemala with an organization called Filter of Hope.
Okay.
And Filter of Hope is their goal is to bring clean water to people of Central America, and
Oh.
for us it was Guatemala.
Yeah.
And they actually developed their own water filter that they can install into buckets or like something that you retrieve water with. And so for our teams, we were like drilling holes in buckets, putting filters in them, and then we were using the filtration system, or that process of purifying the water, as an analogy to the Gospels and how Jesus cleans our lives outside of the bucket, kind of like how Jesus, or the filter cleans. Wait, words are hard, but either way, like the filter cleans the water, like Jesus cleans our lives.
Okay. Oh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and people of Guatemala were very receptive of it, very vulnerable with us too. A lot of them were just very open with some of the problems that they had going on in their lives, and we were able to play with a lot of cool people, a lot of really nice families, and of course present to them free water as well.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a high of the trip, though, it'd have to be our last day going out and sharing these filters with people. So we got in our big team. Our big team was we had about 30 people. Yeah,
Wow.
25 actually.
Huh.
And we went to a very remote village, kind of in the middle of nowhere. We actually had to drive through a couple rivers and
Really?
walk over a few rivers as well.
Oh my god.
Like the bridges to get over these rivers was just like a log. It was pretty great, but
Adventure.
yeah, we had to go on a little hike, and we split up into smaller groups of about 5 people, and each group also had a translator because the Guatemalans speak Spanish,
Yeah.
and most of us don't speak Spanish. I do a little bit, because
Hey, you do speak Spanish.
yeah, I studied abroad in Spain for a semester, but that doesn't mean I'm fluent in Spanish by any means.
Like
What was that?
Spain Spanish is different than the other Spanish, right?
Yeah, I mean, Spain Spanish is its own dialect. It's kind of like, British English and the U.S. English. But, I mean, you can still understand it. That wasn't too bad. But yeah, so either way, let's see, where was I? We split up into our smaller groups, and we kind of spread out across this village to go share our filters and the word. And like I said, each group had a translator.
Mm-hmm.
And our translator's name was Anthony. He's a pretty cool guy.
Cool.
And yeah, so we had the community leader of this small village. His name was Alfonso, and he took us on a little hike. It was about 20-30 minutes down a river to a small grouping of houses.
Okay.
And we came up upon the first house, and we're like, "Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás?" And she came out of the house, and she greeted us, and we introduced ourselves, and she invited us in.
Cool.
And the Guatemalans are all, like, they're all so gracious and so happy whenever anyone visits. So she was just like setting out chairs for all of us, like, please sit,
Aw.
all that stuff.
That's really cool.
But yeah, so she was the only woman at this house. The rest of her family does live there, but they weren't there at the time. But you could tell she was definitely a family woman. Her walls were plastered with pictures of the kids and family and whatnot. Her name was Carla. Carla, yeah, she's super sweet. She's about probably 60, 70 years old. I never asked, but she's definitely the grandma of the family.
Okay.
Yeah, and so my friend Grace, she goes to GVSU, showed her how to install the filter. And of course, we were like, if you want, a young strapping man, you can get your kids to do it too. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we showed her how to install the filter into her bucket. And of course, offered her a drink of the clean water. They always love that.
Yeah.
And after that, go ahead.
Oh, how big are the buckets? Like, I'm picturing just like a little bucket, but are they pretty big? Or?
Well, I'll start with the filter. The filter is incredibly small, because it goes into the bucket, and we don't actually provide the buckets. The people provide the buckets for us to put the filters into.
Do they kind of vary depending on?
Yeah, it kind of depends. Sometimes, we almost kind of found out there was like a hierarchy of buckets. Some are like massive, but also really easy to drill through. But then some are really difficult to drill through, and it's just funny. But yeah, the buckets are all different sizes there.
Oh, okay.
There's like little plastic buckets.
Yeah, I see.
Nothing super special. So anyway, yeah, we installed this filter, and Grace talked them through that. And of course, we're speaking in English, like a sentence at a time, and then the translator would translate it so that Carla could understand.
Yeah.
So after we showed her how to install it, my buddy Justin, who also goes to GVSU, stepped up to tell her about how the filter reminds us of Jesus.
Oh, cool.
And so, he starts off with, this filter reminds me of how Jesus has purified my life, that whole spiel. And she says, wow, I've never heard of this before. Can you tell me more?
Huh.
So we were like, wow, like that's incredible. Like we're excited to be the first people to tell you about this.
Yeah.
And so Justin goes on to tell Carla about how if we accept that Jesus, died for our sins, we can have eternal life with him, and we can start a relationship with him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so Carla was like, great, like that's exciting. And we actually pulled out our KGP. And for those who don't know, the KGP is our Knowing God Personally booklet, and it outlines the steps to getting into a relationship with God. So yeah, I think the steps are: number 1 is God's plan for love. Second one is our sinful condition. Third step is how Jesus saved us, and then fourth step is our response to that. And so we just flipped straight to the fourth step, which is our response to God's love, because she seemed to get it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And on that step, there's a prayer that we offer to pray with these people, and should they say it, we can be like, great, like this is your first step with God, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have it memorized off the top of my head, but it's basically something along the lines of, thank you, Jesus, for saving me from my sins. Like, I look forward to taking my next step with you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right.
Justin opens up the booklet and reads the prayer pretty much sentence by sentence, and then the translator, Anthony, translates it to Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time he just read it so she could listen to it and think about whether she wants to say it as well or not.
Okay.
She hears it, and we ask, would you like to pray it with us now? And she says, look, absolutely, this sounds great. And then, so what happened next was it was absolutely beautiful, because Justin said it in English, translator said it in Spanish, and then Carla repeated it after the translator in Spanish. So we had like these 3 people kind of taking turns saying this prayer, and it was so cool to see this prayer and this word of God going from one culture or one language to another.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know, that was the most like spine-tinglingly cool moment for me on the whole trip, and it kind of reminded me of how God crossed supernatural boundaries just to make sure that we could understand him, and then here he is using us to cross cultural boundaries so he can be better understood to other people.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty more stories like that, but we'll be here for 4 hours if I keep telling them.
Oh, cool.
And this was the first group to go to Guatemala, isn't it?
At least from Western Michigan University, yeah.
So were those 30 people, were they all from, oh no, you said some were from GVSU.
Yeah, so we were a team of, I think it was 25, I think. But yeah, there were 9 of us from Western Michigan University.
Okay.
And then there were like 18 or so, 16, 17, something like that from Grand Valley University in Grand Rapids. And then there were a couple other, well, let's see, there was one guy, he was the leader from Filter of Hope, so he wasn't affiliated with Grand Valley or Western. He's just his own guy with Filter of Hope. And he was super cool. And then there were obviously the translators who all live in Guatemala. I guess I could tell you about the most stressful part of it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, personally for me, I have a difficult time with evangelism because I feel like not everyone is searching for the word, or like not everyone needs to hear it now. So I just have like a difficult time with that.
Okay.
But I was challenged by some of the translators to share my faith in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I was kind of forced to our last day because it was actually the house right after the house with Carla, the story I just told you. Oh my god. Yeah, so we went to that house and they were like, oh yeah, there's going to be 2 families here. And so the first family shows up and we've only got like an hour to do this, so like we've got to get back pretty soon. So one family shows up and we're like, all right, we'll just start it right now. And one of my other friends in my group, I think Hannah, was sharing or showing them how to put it together. And then the other family shows up like midway through the presentation, and the translator looks at me. He's like, you want to translate for the second family? And I'm like, nope, but I'll do it. So yeah, I managed to somehow explain in Spanish how to put this filter together and also translate for my friend who was sharing the gospel, and that was pretty cool.
Nice.
But also the most heart-poundingly stressful part of the whole trip. It's like, what if I say something wrong? I'll probably say something offensive or whatever.
That is amazing. I'm so happy you had a good time.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
What was the big takeaway from this week?
Oh man, the big takeaway. I think for all of us, at least most of the people on the trip, we all experienced a new form of gratitude that we had never seen before. All the people there, whether they lived in a gorgeous house or just like a little house made out of just whatever they could find.
Yeah.
They were all incredibly grateful for the prayers that we offered to them, and just the free gift of the water, along with the free gift of Jesus having died for them. Yeah, but it was just cool to see just how happy they were to know that like we were there just because we can, taking out of our time to be with them and share the good news and some good water.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's definitely a type of gratitude that we don't see too much in North America, or at least the U.S.
Yeah.
Would you recommend this trip to anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely life-changing. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why anybody couldn't go on it.
Yeah, we're planning on going to Honduras in June, I think.
Really, you too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my youth group.
Oh, cool. What do you guys be doing there?
Well, we're still kind of planning on what type of ministry we're going to do, because there's a few options. I think we're going to go with the there's going to be like kind of a youth camp type thing, and something for like a VBS type thing. I don't have all the details. I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing, but yeah, we're going to be helping with youth. So.
And just like in a school sort of setting or something like that, or just kids in general.
I think it's just local.
Just in general.
Yeah, just like local youth in the village or whatever.
Oh man, yeah, it's kind of funny because like with our Guatemala trip, we had literally zero details until the day we got there.
Yeah.
Like we were on the plane and we sat next to some Grand Valley people and they were like they pulled out their itinerary of like when they're gonna get there and when they're gonna wake up and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And we all like flocked around this one GVSU girl because we were like, hey, we don't have that. We don't know what's happening once we land.
Yeah. Huh.
So I mean, even if you guys don't have it all together, just know that God's got you or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a kid from GVSU.
Does this compare to Panama City Beach at all?
Well, no. I saw God move in a lot different ways on this trip. Not to say he moved more on this trip, but definitely in a lot different ways.
Yeah. How can we be praying for you as you transition back to Kalamazoo?
How can you be praying for me? Well, just that. I mean, I continue to process what happened on the trip because I'm still kind of working through some of the things, especially like I said, the gratitude that they showed us and just how much different it is for them compared to us, and just kind of what it means to be vulnerable with people, I guess.
Yeah.
And just kind of instead of dancing around with superficial relationships with people, just really learn how to be open with people. What Guatemalans were with us.
Yeah.
And of course, pray for the Guatemalans as well.
Absolutely.
They could always use that clean water and that word of Jesus.
What were your highs and lows, Gracie?
I think one of my highs was hanging out with your family on Saturday.
Yeah, that was fun.
We got to go shopping for our vacation, and it was really exciting and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Bonding with Hayden's family.
Yep.
Where'd you guys go?
Oh, jeez.
We went to Plato's Closet, Target, Meijer.
All the necessity places.
I think that was pretty much Got Starbucks.
We got Starbucks.
Waited like half an hour in line.
Oh my god. It was like the Starbucks inside the Target, so all the rowdy families with their rowdy children had to go through the line first.
Mm-hmm.
What's a high for you?
I would say probably the same. Actually, one of my highs was doing my presentation on Monday. I had a presentation with the class I'm taking. It was a group project. We had a case study of a church that had a bunch of problems, and we had to pinpoint the main problem and some sub-problems kind of related to that, and then we had to do a presentation on it. So I had it was a group of three of us, and we did our presentation, and we kind of talked about the leadership of the church and how the leadership needs to kind of take responsibility and sort of work on their own spiritual growth and stuff, and be good examples. But yeah, we had fun, and we somehow ended up all dressing alike, all three of us. We all had jeans and black dress shirts. So we looked like we were quite professional. And actually, everybody said that they liked our presentation best. So
Yeah, they did.
So that was pretty good.
You gave you an A+.
Hope so. But yeah, I'd say that was one of my highlights for sure. Your lows?
My lows, probably being kind of sick this week.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm being stressed out about it. because we're leaving for vacation, and
How are you doing now?
I'm fine. I
That's
mean,
good.
I don't feel good in the mornings, but once I get going with my day, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I survived the entire flu season without getting sick, and then like the week before we leave, I get sick. So trying not to stress out about that is probably my low.
You'll be fine.
I know I'll be fine, but it's just getting there.
Yep.
What about for you?
For me, kind of a no-brainer. Our family dog died on Saturday. Or no.
No.
Friday night.
Yeah. He was getting pretty old, and he was just struggling with a lot of health issues and stuff. So they had to take him to the vet, and basically they found out like he had a tumor, and he had a whole bunch of other stuff just associated with old age and stuff. And it would have been really expensive to try and fix it, and even if they could fix it, it wouldn't help him that much. So we just decided to let him go. So that was quite a sad evening.
Yeah, that's always difficult to do.
Yeah, and it was crazy because my mom texted me when it was all happening, and I was at my house. My mom was at their house. My dad was at the vet, and my sister was at her place. And I'm like, "Oh, come on! This can't happen while we're all in completely separate location." Like it didn't feel right to me. So I got in my car and I texted Haley and my sister. I texted and asked if she wanted me to pick her up and take her to our parents' house, and she said yeah. So we just went out to my parents, and just the four of us kind of sat around sharing memories, looking at pictures and stuff. My mom pretty much cried nonstop. My sister cried a lot. Me and my dad just were kind of numb, so we didn't really. Although me and my sister spent the night there, and I woke up to the sound of someone crying really loudly, and I thought it was my mom, but when I went up there, I was like, I woke up to the sound of somebody, and then my dad was like, "That was me."
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he woke up and went out into the living room, and normally he sees my mom drinking her coffee, reading her Bible, and Cubby, my dog, sitting at her feet, and he didn't see Cubby sitting at her feet, and it just kind of yeah. So yeah, I think another low. I had a pretty low week.
Oh no.
Another low that I had was I went to my orientation for the new job that I got. And
wait, you got a new job? Where at?
You got a new. Okay, so here's the story. I got a job at an assisted living home, a memory care home, in caregiving, which is something that I don't know. I thought I wanted, because I thought, it's a very honorable position. You're helping people, you're serving people, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. So I was just like, well, I want to do that because I want to help people. So when I got to orientation, things were going well. I was pretty excited, and all the people were nice. And then when my supervisor, the person who I would be working under, came in and started showing us these DVDs of, videos, training videos and stuff of,
No, even on DVD. I would expect them to be on VHS or something.
No, they looked quite recent, but they were videos of just like some of the responsibilities that you would have in this sort of position. And as I was watching them, I just was gradually realizing, like, this is not the position for me. Because it's very, like, medical type stuff, and just, like, very
hands-on.
Very hands-on. Just stuff, I don't know. I like, the thing that I was looking forward to was more the social aspect, like, hanging out with the residents, talking to them, getting to know them. I kind of forgot that there was actually a job attached to the position. And when I saw the videos of what the job would entail, I was like, I think they have the wrong guy.
Dear.
Yeah, the whole new job that I was super excited about and was my high last week was my low this week.
It sounds like you got another high coming out of your new job, though.
Yeah.
Or your old job, I guess.
My same, yeah. Well, I might start working third shift because the main reason
Oh boy.
the main reason I was excited about the new job is because it was first shift. And I'm currently working second shift, which means I never get time to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I was excited about switching to first shift, but I asked my supervisor if she'd be willing to put me on third shift, and she's kind of not sure about it. She doesn't really feel comfortable with it, but she said she would be willing to if I really need it. And so we're kind of working through that to see if that's an option or not. But I also applied at Planet Fitness for a third shift cleaning position. So if I get that one, then that would be okay because then I would have time during the day to do stuff. So, and I've done third shift before. In fact, I'm going to be working third shift tonight because I have class in the evening. So I know that I am capable of doing third shift. It gives me more time during the day to do stuff. So
And see him more.
yeah, I get to see Gracie. So I'm in kind of in limbo with the job situation. So
We have vacation coming up.
yes, vacation.
Can't wait.
So did you have any takeaways or new things that you experienced this week?
I got to know your sister more.
Yeah,
Which was good.
it is good.
With your family for the next 10 days or whatever. So
Yep.
It helps to get to know them more.
I guess for me, like I learned a little bit about caregiving.
Job actually entails.
Yeah, I learned some new terms that I would not just looking up on Google.
Jeez.
One thing I did that was new was I went with Grace and I both went with my youth group down.
That was a high. That was for sure a high.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
That was a high for Gracie. We went downtown, out cookies and hot cocoa to just various people that were walking the streets and stuff. And we met. The goal was to strike up conversations with them and get to know them and try to share our faith with them. And some of us did that. Ken, my youth leader, did mostly, and Gracie did a bit, and the students tried. I
didn't say one word.
My thing is, obviously I'm an introvert, but also I can talk to people once I warm up to them, but it takes me more than 30 seconds to warm up to someone. So I couldn't really, get comfortable with talking to anybody because we didn't actually stay long enough. We just, introduced ourselves and just kind of, that was it. So I didn't really say anything and I felt bad. And the longer it went on, the worse I felt and the less able I was to speak. So, well, things like that are always nerve-wracking to me. But
yeah, at least you took that step, though.
I had a lot of fun with it just because, because of crew, I'm used to talking to people and, have experience in that, and it was fun to do that again. And I got to hang out with your student.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be nervous with. So, and we got to play on the playground with some of the kids in downtown. the Arcadia festival place.
Yeah.
And I almost passed out.
Oh, dear.
I hit my head really hard on one of the little bars. I just had to sit there for a good 5 minutes just recalibrating my mind.
That must have been quite a shock for the lady that was sitting there, because it was just this, like, you know, young woman with 2 kids was just sitting at the playground, and then all of a sudden this group of teens and some adults walk up to her, offer her cookies and cocoa, and then just start tearing around on the playground.
With her kids, of
With
course.
her kids. That was quite crazy.
She seemed to enjoy it, though. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we have for right now, Jesse.
Yeah, well, I mean, thanks for inviting me. I'd love to talk about Guatemala anytime with anybody, really.
If you want to do another one of these, Jesse, just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I'll keep in contact.
Cool. All right, man. Catch you later.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Yep. Bye.